going on, guys? Welcome back into the channel. Today what I'll be talking about is something very specific to my golf swing, and it causes my biggest problem, which is a push slice and an early extension of my body. If you're a beginner and you kind of don't understand those terms, don't worry, I'm going to break a lot of that down in this quick video for you today. Now, I do want to preface this by saying that I am not a professional coach. I'm simply trying to share some value in terms of the things that I've learned about my swing. If you're someone that is looking for some help from a different perspective, there might be something in this video for you. So these early extension problems that I'm facing actually cause me to hit a lot of shanks, something that I'm not used to doing, and it's sort of crept into my game. And even if it's not a shank, it's coming off the heel of my club, which is the closer to the hosel, or the closest part to the actual shaft of the golf club. And I don't know if you can see or not, but there's a lot of wear. My club's pretty dirty at the moment. I should probably use the club cleaner I've got, but there's a lot of wear on this section of my golf club, and I've been trying to figure out what it is for a long time. I've watched a lot of my swing, and I think that's the first thing I'll say is if you're someone that's struggling with their swing and you just don't know what is going on, record yourself, because it does help a lot. Now, what is happening with my swing in particular is, number one, I found that I was super close to the golf ball. So this was obviously causing some problems for me. And you know, if you're very close to the golf ball, then you're going to expose that hosel, and you're going to have a lot more of an upright sort of swing. That's what I noticed with my golf swing. So the first thing I started to do was kind of move a little bit back. But my problem with my golf swing is when I got to the top and on my downswing, instead of rotating around my hips, for some reason my rear leg, and I'll know what the reason is, which I'll share with you in a second, but my rear leg and my rear foot, knee and ankle starting to really kind of cave in towards the ball, and that's going to cause a lot of problems. So it's, instead of rotating this way and kind of going with the ball, my ankle is coming off the ground and I'm leaning towards the ball, and now I've got way less or higher chance of actually causing something like a shank, because I'm exposing a lot of that kind of hosel. So again, the problem is that for some reason I'm lifting this ankle up really early, which is causing my knee and my hip to get really pushed forward, and it's causing that early extension. That is generally what an early extension is not always caused by, but that's what you would refer it as, is that kind of hip leaning towards the ball. And if you can imagine, if I come over the top, now I've got this wood chopping action causing the hosel to get exposed, and all sorts of things can go wrong from there. Inconsistent strike, topping the golf ball. So my main concern, or my main thing, is to make sure that ankle stays down. And there's a couple of drills that I'm working on to try and help with that. There are 3 different drills that I'm trying to use to kind of cure this in my swing. Using a foam ball, what you can do is just where you would set up to the golf ball, kind of just stand on it. And now I've got this feedback of something being under my foot, and my whole emphasis is trying to stay down on that foot for as long as possible until after I hit the golf ball, and then rotate and shift my weight as I'm making impact with the ball. So it's kind of like this. And that's a good way to train my mind and a feel for trying to stay a little bit more down. And what that's doing for me is I'm keeping my head down a little bit longer than usual as well. Normally when I'm early extending, what I'm also doing is, as a result of my hip coming out, my shoulders and my head are opening up to the target really early, and then I've just got so much can go wrong from there. Luckily, I do have good hands, which kind of help me make up for a lot of those faults, but I do need to fix this because it's never going to let me become a good golfer if not. So that was thin. I'm okay with that for now. It's another one of my swing faults that I got. Try to fix that. But again, stepping on that ball for as long as possible. I don't want to feel that coming down until I've made contact with the ball, or at least at the point of contact. Oh, that's thin. Now that feels very upright as well, so that means I'm a little bit too close. One more. The other drill that I've kind of been working on, if you don't have foam balls or don't want to use that, is just line up some kind of feedback. You can do this against a wall if you want. I normally like to use a chair. Now, the idea is not to sit back on your heels. That's not what we want. But my thought here is that my butt or my backside is up against this chair here. And now, as I swing, the only thing I want to feel is that I rotate on that chair itself. And if I come off that chair and I feel that I've left a gap here, that means I'm doing, my ankles come off, my foot's released towards the ball again, and I'm kind of early extending and doing these ones again. So I've got to just hold back a little bit, hit some shots. So I think what I noticed as I was doing this was that when I did it properly, I started to pull the ball to the right-hand side, which, you know, is going to start something new, obviously, when you make any changes or new feelings. But, oh, that's really solid. I like this better than the foam ball. This really gives you a better feel. I still feel like I'm coming off that chair quite a lot. All right, so I've got some impact tape. I did a video on this the other day. I'm gonna use the chair again and I'm gonna see what it's forcing me to do. Generally speaking, my bad shots should be right on here, kind of that heel spot. So let's just see what kind of impact it has. And if the drill's actually forcing me to do anything different, that is the goal. That's toe. Very good. They all feel really solid. I'm going to show you guys what the results of this are. Oh, that's off the heel. Low heely one. Couple more. All right, so I've just hit 5 balls, and that contact, have a look at that. A little bit low on the face, so I could do a better job, but I'm not worried about that for today. But majority of it is kind of around that center of the club face. Now that's going to help me a lot. I did feel like the ball went to the left and right a little bit, but that's okay. That's a completely different thing. I'm not focused on that. So using a chair, the focus here is to make sure that chair sits on your backside and you don't feel like you're separating away from it, which is going to cause you to do some funny stuff with your club head, throw your hands and those types of things. You might be facing something like this where you are early extending as well. And what I found, the problem for me was that I related it back to an old injury I had in my ankle, which was quite a severe one. But what it's done is kind of reduce some of the mobility in not only my ankle, but the rest of that left-hand side. So a couple of things that I also work on is a little bit of mobility, a little bit of strengthening. That also helps out my golf swing a lot. And if you guys want to see some of that, if you are someone that struggles with some mobility stuff, I'm not a PT, but I'm happy to share with you the things that I'm doing at home to try to alleviate some of that. That will obviously help my golf swing and then hopefully help me to score lower on the golf course. That's all I have for you today, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if you enjoyed this type of video in the comments section, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.